Good morning or good afternoon, folks. We're going to take a look at Section E of the assessment in the major and or program self-study. The first thing you want to do is find your program title, and then you're going to want to click on the most recent assessment in the major cycle year. I only grant permissions during the years in which you're up for assessment in the majors, so you should only see that one and previous assessment in the majors. So we'll click on 23-24 because that's where we are right now. And we're going to scroll on down to Section E. The good news for Section E is that it's one of the easier ones to do because most of the work is done by other entities on campus. So if you want to start by selecting Section E1, and you'll notice that here you're supposed to describe the assessment process. The easiest thing to do for this section, let me actually scroll back really quickly, is visit canton.edu/provost/assessment and then a backslash to cap it off at the end. That's going to bring you to the assessment homepage. Scroll down, click on academic assessment, scroll down, click on institutional student learning outcomes assessment. Scroll down just a tiny bit again, and you're going to see the ISLO Policies and Procedures Guidebook. 27 pages describing every facet and nuance of our assessment process. Copy that, come back over here, check out this area. You're going to want to add a link. You're going to want to put the website URL in here. You're going to want to title the link. ISLO Assessment Guidebook should do the trick. You can save and return. I'm going to cancel because I've already added it. So you can tell this is like the second or third take I've done on this. And then you're all set to go. Now I do recommend that you add text and image, predominantly text, just a little bit, a paragraph describing the assessment process as you understand it. Every program is a little bit different. Some programs feature program-specific assessment reporting each year. Some have department-wide assessment reporting each year. For example, the criminal justice programs typically have an aggregate report that features assessment results for every single program in the department. So that's a little different than what we normally deal with. Other programs that are perhaps accredited, but maybe they're doing a self-study because I don't know why they would do that actually. Let's just steer clear of that hypothetical altogether and just stick with the examples that I gave you. But you're going to want to describe in a paragraph or two a distilled description of what your understanding of the assessment process is. Next, we have the program assessment results. Now, this is going to be predominantly attachments. Okay, there's not really a lot of description that needs to go here. You just need to attach your annual program assessment results, the ones that you usually get prior to symposia, and you want to include the assessment results for about the last 5 years. 2018 to 2023 should do the trick. So we're in 2024 right now. That means in January of 2024, we looked at the results from the whole entire calendar year for 2023. So 18 to 23 should get you what you need. 5 attachments in total. The first person that you're going to want to reach out to if you're a new coordinator is the previous coordinator. If they don't have the results, the next person that you'll want to reach out to is the chair or director who oversees your program. They should have the results. If they don't have the results, you can go to the dean. They should have the results. If the dean doesn't have the results, you can come to me and I will give you as many of the assessment results as I possibly can. But let's try to get them from the faculty who oversaw the program first, simply because there's a lot of people that are trying to complete assessment in the major right now, and it'll be easier to offload the expectations on them than to come at me. The other thing is, if you get to me and you still don't have the assessment results, there's a possibility that certain years of the assessment results are missing for your program. This does happen from time to time. We've had faculty deaths. We've had faculty retirements and resignations. We've had shifts from one coordinator to the next. And sometimes assessment responsibilities get lost in the shuffle, and you might miss a year or two here or there. That's okay, it happens. And those are things that we need to account for in our narrative component of the program assessment results section E2. That's where the text and image is going to come in handy, right? Attach as many of the reports that you have, and then after that, go to text and image and explain which years you have, which ones you don't, why you don't have certain years. And that's something that you can reach out to me for if you're having a problem. You're like, we can't seem to find the 2020 assessment results. I'll go back through, I'll check my emails, I'll see what kind of follow up we did, what kind of problems might have emerged or existed, and we'll go forward from there. Now, student satisfaction data, graduate survey results, and alumni and employer surveys are handled by institutional effectiveness. So you're going to want to reach out to our contacts in institutional effectiveness. I won't say the names because we're trying to keep names out of these videos as much as possible, and the titles could change, but reach out to institutional effectiveness. They will be able to provide you with PDFs of student satisfaction data, graduate survey results, and alumni/employer surveys. You really need only check the sections out and make the attachments there, and you should be all set to go. Now notice that there is some narrative here that kind of explains the kinds of survey data that we have. Some of these have been discontinued. There may be new surveys that have been initiated. You can copy this, you can add it to the text and image section, and that'll provide a brief narrative to introduce your external evaluators to the student satisfaction data, graduate survey results, and alumni and employer surveys. Now the final section, see how fast this is going? This is a quick one. Is program effectiveness. Now you'll notice that it says describe the procedures, criteria, and methods used for this assessment. A lot of that's described up here in this distilled area. You can include that again if you want to. The one thing I'll implore you to do is think about the unique procedures, criteria, and methods that are used for assessment. What does your department, what does your program talk about during the symposia each year? What kinds of trends or themes have emerged as a result of that? This is the place where you'd want to include minutes from the assessment symposia. Now, minutes are often aggregated or collected by the school as a whole, but the individual department meetings or the individual program meetings are also supposed to collect minutes. This would be where you'd want to put those. If you don't have those, that's understandable. Some programs have opted not to do that. Some departments meet prior to the symposia and they don't take minutes. They just talk about things behind the scenes. That is also understandable. Moving forward, we'll have to make shifts to that for the next assessment in the major cycle, but provide as much information as you possibly can here, and then you'll be all set to go. Now, while this one is easier to complete, Section E, than the others, it is also kind of the most glorified scavenger hunt of the several sections in the assessment in the major. But if you've done your due diligence and you've collected the information from the program assessment results, and you have the minutes from the program effectiveness section, and you've reached out to institutional effectiveness to get the information for sections E3 through E5, you should be done with this in no time at all. Stay tuned and we'll get section F taken care of for you next, and then we are ready to send it out to the external reviewers and move on from there. Thanks so much for joining me today, folks. How do I stop the recording? What? Where is Snagit?